Greetings, Earthlings.
We are Johnita Francis and Trish Rock, your empowerment influencers.
The no fluff conversations about life, empowerment, spirituality, and freedom.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's show, sponsored by Holistic Bliss Magazine.
We are indeed.
Well, here we are again.
Can you believe how quick Wednesdays come around?
I know, right? It's good. I was going to say it's scary, but it's not, because I really enjoy Wednesdays.
My day starts so early, and I'm doing something at 6:15 in the morning, and then I've got all day booked, and then and from about 2 p.m. yesterday afternoon, I start getting excited about tonight. I just love it.
Yeah.
I love
it
how
is
it's
exciting.
so dangerous, we're throwing caution to the wind with this wisdom wheel.
We are with our wheel of wisdom, and yes, the butterflies start kicking in for me at about 10 to 6. I'm like, please be kind, Spirit, please be kind. And thank you all to our beautiful live audience that joins us every week on Facebook, and welcome to anybody who's listening to the podcast through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Buzzsprout.
I'm glad you remember all of that. If I just sit here and look cute, that's my cue to just look cute. I'll let you go for it.
All right. Shall we get this party started?
Oh, my God. All right.
All right. We have the Wheel of Wisdom. Let's pop that up on screen. What will the Wheel of Wisdom bring for us tonight to discuss? Drum roll.
Come in, spinner. I'm always praying. Sound healing and frequencies.
Oh, interesting.
I love this.
Okay, let's pop that down.
For 25 minutes.
Sound.
Did you get it?
Yeah. What was it? Sound healing and
frequencies.
Sound healing and sound frequencies. Beautiful. Ooh. Well, I'm a big fan of sound healing. It is absolutely one of those things that my cells just jump out of my body whenever I hear sound healing music or higher frequencies. And so I've always just been really drawn to it, and I never knew why. It's an interesting thing, and I think that you have to actually experience it to really understand it.
Yeah. Well, I actually hate it.
Well, this will be a great conversation.
And I was sitting here listening to you talk, and I felt my arms fold. I thought, oh, hello. My mind is not changing. I think what it is with me is my hearing loss and the way the nerves are damaged inside my ears. So my eardrum and my nerve endings don't respond in the same manner. So all that singing bowl stuff, I'm like, and I'm running out the door. There was a crystal shop in South Australia that actually, they would spot me coming in, and they'd make sure that they would come and tell me before they played any singing bowls so I could get out. I absolutely hate them. I think they should all be used for frisbees out the front window or something.
Oh, but here's the thing that's interesting that about your ears, because the vibration actually goes through your body as well, not just into your body from your ears.
No, but see, when you're deaf, you actually are more sensitive to vibration.
Yes.
So, like bass guitar, drums, all that sort of stuff, anything that carries that bassy feeling or that vibration is actually either extremely irritating, which in my case it is, or it's something that they can actually, because you're feeling how normal people hear the sound, we're actually feeling the sound. So it's like a sensory overload for me. It's just too much, and it's like fingernails down a chalkboard, especially the singing bowls.
So the only bass noise really that you like is when you've got the bike underneath you.
Yes. My loud pipes. They say
your loud pipes. And so why? Okay, this is going to be interesting. Why is that vibration not annoying to you, and yet the others are?
The pitch.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's
And,
interesting.
had
Yeah.
a helmet on and I'm screaming down the highway. That could be something to do.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't understand that about the ears, and I guess any sense that you don't have, the others increase.
Yeah.
I would have thought, really though, if I hadn't been speaking to you about it, I would have thought it would be the opposite, and that the sound healing frequency would be more intense and enjoyable for you guys.
Oh, it's intense, but it's not enjoyable.
It's not enjoyable. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What about the really high frequencies? Like the ones that you don't really even hear, but they're just a vibration. Do they bother you, or it's just the lower ones?
I'm not really sure the answer to that. I know that I
Yeah.
can't hear the piccolo flute, and I
Mm.
don't feel the vibration of the piccolo flute either. So
Okay.
it could just be completely out of my range fully.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
sure. That's a very good question, and I don't want
Yeah.
to test it.
Oh, okay.
I know
Well,
that when Terry's had a gutful of me, he comes in here with his purpose march and he picks
yeah.
up his singing bowl and dings that, and I take off and he's like, ha ha, freedom, peace for half an hour.
Who'd have thought a singing bowl will be used in defense, not in enjoyment? Get out, ding. Oh, well, that's interesting. Well, I think this conversation can go in some interesting ways, but which I will ask you in a minute. But the first thing I want to say, though, is for anybody out there, if you haven't tried, unless you've got problems with your ears or you're deaf, if you haven't tried sound healing, give it a go. From my perspective, it feels like I'm home. That's how I feel about it. All the music comes in. I'm constantly, whenever I meditate, even for 15 minutes, I've got something on in my ears that is some form of sound healing going on, because it just affects all my cells. I can feel them shifting. So yeah, I absolutely love it. I find it is very medicinal and very healing, not just on that one time, but even over the couple of days. I feel for me it like sometimes it just really vibrates my cells and kind of vibrates all the shit out of them. That's what it feels like for me.
Like it agitates all the nonsense that you don't need.
Yeah,
like you're digging for gold, and when you put them in that little sifter thing, and you get rid of all the dirt and you keep the gold out the top.
Yeah, that's how it feels for me. Like the beautiful vibrations are coming in, and it's pushing out anything that's not needed anymore. That's what it feels like for me. So I really love it. But the other thing about sound healing is, why is it healing in that way? And that's got to do with our higher vibrations, obviously, which we both know a lot about. So what's your take on that one?
Look, I will agree with you, because I think even though I run a mile for a singing bowl, I even actually think that carrot just came up in my throat. I feel that strongly about singing bowls. But I actually have recommended frequencies to people in readings where I've gone, you know what, you need to shift this. And then I ask spirit, which hurts, what frequency are we looking for here, which is the best one to start with. And there's so many different ones out there that will do different things at different times for your body, and they'd reset DNA codes, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I can purely 100% see the benefit for so many people with it. And I think where the frequency comes into it is because our bodies are predominantly water or liquid. And when you drop a pebble into the ocean or drop it into a creek, you get that ripple effect. So basically we're taking a different style of frequency. We're saying, right, if we want our hearts to respond to something, we might need a stone, bigger than a 20-cent piece. If we want our sacral, we might need, a 1-cent piece size stone. And that's how we create the ripple. And the ripple will have how quickly the vibration comes out, which is how quickly or how close the ripples are to one another. And I think that's why so many people respond so beautifully to it, because we are predominantly, we are frequency first and foremost. Quantum physics, bless us, quantum physics. We need to have quantum physics on our list of topics. But But quantum physics teaches us about that, that we are, matter. And when
Yeah.
we start playing with frequencies, and we can use frequencies and sound healing to be able to shift certain parts of our body, we're actually playing a melody for healing. So I totally understand, and I recommend it. And anyone that's listening now that has ever come to me for reading, and I've gone, you know what, you need to listen to this. And if you
Yeah.
don't like that particular song, go find another one. We all
Yeah.
might like rock as a genre, but not every single rock band is going to be our favorite. So I'm giving you a
No.
frequency to look for. You just need to find a song that you enjoy listening to. And
Absolutely. And, we're 70 or more percent water too. So,
yeah.
it does move things around. I was just out walking the other day, and I live a fairly quiet life, which I really like. But I was just out walking the other day, and I went past this house that had that horrid music. I don't know if you've heard it, but it's that real singing from the like you're the devil's kind of singing.
Oh, that throat singing. I
I don't
love that.
Not in that real dark kind of, I don't know what the music is. It's really dark music.
Oh, see, I love Viking music because it mimics the Earth's heartbeat. So all that
Oh,
drumming, so Native American drumming and
no,
Viking,
I don't mean
and
that. I mean
and
this
then there's
that really
Mongolian.
dark.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, no, the
Mongolian.
really dark music where they're just screaming, where they're just,
Oh,
oh yeah, it's awful music. And I walked past, and it was belting out of this house. It's just whoever the singer
you didn't
is in
walk
this.
past my house, did you?
It's just screaming, and it's awful music. It's very negative music, I
Yeah.
think.
You know what? When I was
And I
feeling,
just couldn't stand it. My body just, it's like I felt
ah,
like I'd being attacked. It was
I love that.
awful.
I love that about you. I listened to, my friend and I had this little giggle about it, Norwegian death metal. And the reason
Oh,
why, and German metal, Ramstein is one of my favorite. Now they need to sponsor us. Now that I've said their name, are you
yep.
listening, Ramstein? You need to sponsor me. So, but Ramstein are this German metal band, and they sing about. I don't speak German, but I'm a girl, and they're drop dead gorgeous boys, so they've got my whole undivided attention. But they sing about, about war and about the oppression of people and how the government treats people and all that sort of stuff. So they've got real topics that they're singing about, but they do it from a metal point of view. And I love that metal because it's it gives me an opportunity to release all of that dirt. That's how I release the dirt. So you actually made it from a
Ah,
different, but I love that metal because it's very bass guitar, and it's in that
yeah.
pitch that, and they don't do the primal screaming stuff, not that angry stuff, but it is metal, and
No.
it's beautiful because I use it as my like a release of for the anger valve. So
Ah, okay.
they're
Yeah,
doing
I
the
don't
metal
mind
stuff.
that. I don't
Yeah,
mind that music, but yeah, the really angry stuff, it just
yeah, the screaming
comes to
stuff.
me like a wave of hate, and it's
Yeah,
awful.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and so on a I mean we're a very energetic. We're very energetic. I shouldn't say anything more than that. We're energy. And we're in a very energetic time, as always. But, in many of the shows and shows moving forward, we're talking about raising our vibration and moving up to higher dimensions and higher perspectives. And that is all frequency as well.
Yeah.
And, as well as the sound healing and frequencies, how do we tune in to those higher frequencies of our own energy, right? That's a really good way, I guess, to start being really aware of and empowered of taking your own energy back.
Mm.
Even just for instance that little story I gave you then. I mean, some people might have just allowed that to really come into their energy and bring their energy frequency down and then be angry all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And that does happen.
it does happen.
Mm.
People can just say one thing and it will drop your energy for the whole day. So maybe we should see if we can give one tip each Here am I making the rules. 1 tip each for people to raise their vibration. What do you think?
The rebel in me wants to scream, "You're not the boss of me."
Do we need the talking stick?
One thing to raise your vibration. I love it when you put me on the spot.
It gives
Nothing
me a
like a
moment to
challenge.
think about mine.
So I'm going first by the sounds
Yes.
of it. I think the best thing to do when raising our vibrations is to care less about others. Now, I know that sounds crazy because the whole spiritual industry, the whole spiritual community wants us to love, be loved, give love everybody, love your neighbor, love the dog, love the mouse, all that sort of stuff. But I
Yeah.
think that the true unconditional love that comes is the unconditional love that we have of ourselves and our true acceptance of ourselves. And when we have that, then we can start looking at shifting our vibration because, as you beautifully pointed out, we're sometimes a product of our environment, and whether that is you walking past that house and not necessarily people that imposed upon your frequency and your vibration, but it was music that was doing that. And um, so sometimes we have these external factors, and if you hadn't have been as aware, you might have gone, God, that's crap music, and then taken that on for the rest of the day and not realized or not been really truly aware of the fact that it was just this music that created that for you. So
Yeah.
many times we have one thing go wrong in the morning and we say, well, that's it, the day's gone, and we've convinced ourselves. So we've already lowered our vibration because we've allowed the product to become a product of our environment. So I think care less about what others' opinions are of us and what others' projections are of us, and to care
Yeah.
more about how we actually feel about that. I mean, if you've got
Yeah.
a friend that always makes you feel terrible every time you go near them, well, will you continue to go near them, or will you try to look for a solution, or will you slowly but surely pull yourself away from that friendship because it is so draining and it does leave you
Yeah.
like that? So, yeah, so still care about others,
Yeah.
but care less about their projections upon you, and really be
Yeah.
mindful of of how you're feeling when you're in certain situations, or when you're walking past that house, or when you're, with your best friend of 20 years, but you walk away and you go, God, she's such a pain in my ass. Stop being so choices.
It's not taking things personally, isn't it? So that's really, really good advice. Yeah. I guess what I'm going to say is we're back on the water content in our bodies and the frequency in those water experiments.
Yeah, are they amazing?
Emoto.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it Emoto? Emoto.
Ah,
Water
something like that.
experience. For anybody who's listening or watching us, just Google that on YouTube, because the water experiments are amazing. And what they do is they take crystals from the water and they put them under a microscope and photograph them with even in jars or in bottles, just with a angry word on it or a loving word on it, and it really affects the water and the shape of the crystals. And so that for me is everything we take in from our surroundings, as you said, is changing our energy, and what do we want ourselves to be radiating back out. So really be mindful of your thoughts, your own thoughts, and just be really mindful of what are you projecting out as well, because that lowers our frequency too.
It does. It does. I
Yeah,
mean, we've all been
but
in that work environment where, you got that one bad apple, and
yeah,
that one bad apple, and you might have a team of 5 people or a team of 50 people or 500 people, but that one bad apple permeates through the entire culture of the organization. And
yeah,
at some point you need to chop that apple out the tree and throw it over the fence. But
yeah,
it'll keep permeating through because that toxicity really lowers everybody's vibration, and it really affects everybody. And that's when you get a lot of illnesses in the workplace. You get a lot of resentment building up,
absolutely,
and you
because
hate your job. You just start
it's
to
just
hate your job.
really, really low vibration all the time will create those imperfections in the cells.
Yep, yep.
So
And then when you get
it's
annoyed and nothing gets done, you talk about it. And the more you talk about it, the more you give life to it. And the more you give
that.
life to it,
Yep,
the bigger it feels. It's
absolutely.
like when you and your boyfriend are starting to break up and you're almost at the end of that chapter, and then he starts blinking, and you used to think his blinking was cute because his eyelashes were long, and now you want to hit him with a shovel every time he blinks because he's blinking loudly because you've
Exactly.
got this feeling now where the negative thing all the time, and it will fester until you deal with it. Not that you should hit him with a shovel, but
No.
the best I could come up with under pressure. But
you
it's
can
the
always
same
you can
thing.
always ding the singing bowl. That might do the trick.
That'll get rid of me.
But yeah, look,
Conversation finished. Ding.
it is about awareness and empowerment, isn't it? And I mean, we're here to talk about empowerment and to really influence people to take on more of their own responsibility for their life and their energy and their vibration. And so really, I guess that's the key. Take responsibility for your own vibration and do what you can and what suits you to raise your frequency, because raising your frequency will not only make you feel good, but it will bring better health for you as well.
Yeah.
And for the people who can listen to sound healing music, there's all different types. I certainly like. It's interesting when I'm just listening on my phone, like at home. I don't really like the singing bowls, but I love being in a room with the singing bowls. But
So
I
that's a
also like
torture chamber.
torture chamber for you, yeah. But I also like the drums. But there's also other music out there called different frequency music. What's the name? I can't think of the name of it now. But you can just tune into like a piece of
Binaural
music,
beats. Yeah.
binaural beats, and a piece of music that's on like 532 hertz that is really heart-centered, and I find them so calming. So there's a different range of sound healing for people out there. Drums, singing bowls, flute, and singing. I follow a couple of people that actually have the most beautiful channeled voices.
Yeah.
That is sound healing as well. So there's a different variety, but definitely if you're new to it, go and check it out. Just Google it. And
don't take my advice on it. Go and have a good look.
you might get some people asking what actual bowl is it that gets you out of the house, because they may be able to use that on their husbands.
It could be a secret weapon.
And the other thing, I guess, too, is that there's a lot of different stories and articles in Holistic Bliss magazine about frequencies and about how we can raise our own vibration. So, definitely, yeah, absolutely. And there's, even if you, go to the website at holisticbliss.com and just type in the search bar sound healing, there will definitely be stuff coming up there for you to learn a little bit more.
Yeah, yep. There's I read somewhere recently, and I can't quite remember the whole thing, which is frustrating. It's a bit like me with jokes. I can always remember the punchline, but never the story. But John Lennon actually wrote Imagine for on the frequency of heart healing.
Ah, beautiful. Yeah.
And whether he was aware of it, whether it was a fluke, whether he intuitively did it, really doesn't really matter how he came about it. But this whole song, Imagine, is actually on that hertz of frequency.
That frequency,
for healing. So I find that amazing. The one that comes up quite a lot around the 600 hertz, and that's around DNA stuff and letting go of the past and letting go of control, and a lot of anxiety stuff is around that 600 frequency. So
interesting.
and I don't know them off by heart. I will get spirit to come in and tell me what they need or where sort of frequency range I'm looking for, and then I'll jump on YouTube while I'm doing the session and find the right one, and I'll be led intuitively to where to go. So I don't need to remember them. I've got a hotline to dead people.
That's it. Yeah. Actually, I've done the same. I've done the same in some of my meditation classes and things. Like, what as a collective do we all need right now? And when you just get directed to the best one.
Yeah, it automatically happens. It just pops up. So so I 100% swear by sound healing. I actually initially thought that perhaps because, obviously I had very troubled early days, but
Yep.
and I honestly thought that maybe the singing bowls were a little bit um, too overload for me, and that's why I needed to get away from them. But then as
Yeah.
I've gotten older and I've worked out my own frequency, most of the time I'm vibrating at a higher frequency than the singing bowls anyway, and I think that they
Yes.
drag me down somewhat. So I just
Yep.
don't have any, yeah. So that it
Yeah.
just doesn't sit well with me at all. So yeah,
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it?
But you're okay listening to the background tracks while you're working with someone?
Um, what do you
Not
mean?
of singing, not of singing bowls. Well, you just before when you said spirit
Oh
leads
no,
you
I
to
won't play
whatever.
them. I don't
Oh, you
play
just
them.
give them to.
I just give them the link. It's like, yeah,
Okay.
that's the one for you. Doing it. No, not that one. This one, yep, that one. And I just send them the link. So I don't need to listen to them. I trust what spirit says.
Well, just as well, I didn't suggest having a very low hertz song playing through our podcast, wasn't it? Because
For all
it
of
would have
those
just.
who are not in our live audience, I did just epically roll my eyes so badly I saw my own brain.
It was a eye roll. Oh dear, oh dear. So yeah, interesting topic, and deliberate sound healing, or we can personally take on our own
Yeah,
journey of inviting in higher frequencies. And the higher frequencies will not only make you feel good, they'll make you healthier. They also will get you in that higher energy, which gives you more connection intuitively.
yeah. You know what? I don't mind sharing with you that one of my favorite songs is well, they didn't write it, of course, but Creedence Clearwater. Have you ever seen the rain?
I love that.
And oh my goodness, and I love the way they bring it together, and they just Creedence Clearwater is just amazing. However, I came across Willie Nelson and his daughter singing it, and they've slowed it right down, and it's just an acoustic version. And Willie, I mean, he has an unmistakable voice anyway. But when he starts, and I'm thinking about it now, my eyes just filled up with tears. When he opens his mouth to sing that opening line, I am absolutely captivated by what I'm hearing. And
Wow.
it's not the most beautifully put together orchestrated song, not when you compare it to Creedence, for example, it just comes together and you just can't sit down, you've got to get up and dance to it.
Yeah.
But but when Willie Nelson does it, it actually moved me on such an emotional level.
Wow.
And it's
I wonder what frequency that is that's
I
doing
have
that for
no
you.
idea, but I'm going to
It's
check it out now, and you
interesting.
can mark my words. And the other
Research.
and the other day when I was doing something at home in my own business, and I was doing something I can't quite remember what I was doing. And I put on the acoustic versions of Bruce Springsteen songs, and when he slows them right down, and it's just an acoustic, and I think that you can actually, even though I love the metal and I love the rock and roll versions and all that sort of stuff, but when he sings Brilliant Disguise and he does it in the acoustic version, it brings it right back to a raw emotion, and it connects with me on such a level that my eyes fill up with tears. It's really so there's sound healing in that as
Well, I
well.
wonder if that's because it's stripped back and not overwhelming for you. You are actually benefiting from that actual sound
Yeah,
healing because
yeah,
they're singing in a certain tone,
yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's yeah. So sound healing's not necessarily digging bowl of death, the bowl of death. That's a great name.
It is not.
I'm going to get all these people that are sound healers now saying, "What the hell are you talking about?" I'm like, "No, you can do it. I recommend other people do it. I just don't want to do it." But
No, but it does sound like you're getting like a similar, if not the same effect as what I do from
it's a
the
whole
typical
body
sound healing,
emotion.
just from that acoustic
Yeah,
music. So
yeah,
yeah, so if you chop out the overwhelm, and I have to say sometimes I really enjoy, from my point of view, I really enjoy like the overwhelm of all the sound healing. Sometimes, for me, it's like the ending of a big fireworks display
Oh,
when
the
everything's
crescendo.
going.
Yep.
When the sound healing has everything in it, I'm like, yes, yes, get in there, get in my cells.
Like a Kundalini release.
I know. But I guess for you, that's the total opposite. You need all of that stripped away so that you can actually invite some of that into your cells. So that's actually really interesting. And it really has pointed out to me that, so many different people receive different things in a different way. And we've really got to be mindful of our own energy and understand what we like and what doesn't feel good so that we can then express that outwardly to somebody who's saying, no, this is good for you. And you can go, no, it's not.
Exactly. We all have, like, my husband likes to listen to, when we first met, he said he really liked Jewel. And I thought, okay, well, some of her songs are nice, but she's very nasally, so I don't find it relaxing. But then I've heard some Jewel stuff where she's not doing that twangy, nasally stuff. And she's just, on her piano and there's nothing else interfering. And she's just in that moment. And that's when she's got me, 100% got me. But when she does the twangy and she tries to do and the vocal gymnastics, it just sounds like chainsawing a frozen cat to me. So that's not enjoyable. So the sound healing is in music, but it needs to be, which sounds complete opposite of my love for metal. But I think metal served a purpose, and it is just still an emotional release for me. But the acoustic versions of a lot of my most favorite songs just blow my mind, absolutely blow my mind.
You're getting softer as you get older, Johnita.
Oh, God, help us all. I like the way you laid the boots in then when I was being vulnerable. That was,
It was a good thing. You see, you're enjoying softer music, which is allowing you to have some sound healing. You see?
Yeah. And it's interesting because it's it is an emotional release. It's not a lot of, you know how we can get triggered by certain songs and you think, oh, that's the song that they played at someone's funeral or that sort of stuff. But I don't have any of those emotions attached to the songs, but it's just the composition of the song that and my eyes will fill up with tears. And I can listen to that particular version of Have You Ever Seen the Rain a million times and never get sick of it.
Yeah.
So it's doing something on an energetic, emotional level, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and so we all just have to find our own level of frequency that gives us that feeling, because that is the feeling that allows our cells to kind of cleanse a little bit, I guess. But it allows us to get back into that beautiful positive energy alignment, like in the water experiment, without all of the negative influences, because it's all where everything is on a cellular basis for us. Whatever we're holding is in our cells. And so I guess it's been an interesting topic, and hopefully everybody will go and check out different forms of it and see what really brings that emotion to them, because that's really what it's about. It's feeling touched with it. That's you know that you're on the right one.
When you meditate, do you meditate with music in the background or a certain style of music, or how do you, when you think of meditating, what's the first thing that pops in your head?
I definitely need the music just to stop my mind. So I have found, depending on what I'm meditating for, because there's often different reasons. If I'm just wanting to kind of drift off and get some messages from spirit, I won't have anything that is too continuous with the music. It's usually just one or two low sounds that I can focus on. And then there's other times when I listen to full-on sound healing, really just as a meditation / healing session.
Oh, wow. So you really embrace the fact that those frequencies are shifting those cells in your body, and you have a profound shift when you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find it very difficult to meditate without music. Piano especially I love, because I don't know, I must have been a pianist for a few lifetimes or something. But I kind of just, instead of my head, you just get all that stuff coming into your head when you're trying to meditate.
Yeah.
And to stop my mind, if I'm listening to something with piano in it, not Elton John piano, but, nice kind of soft piano, I don't know, my mind just drifts off to sitting in front of the piano and just playing it. And so it gets me out of my thoughts, and it just gets me into a relaxed state. Yeah.
That's so lovely. I really like that. I don't meditate in a normal manner. So my meditation will be in the gym with metal screaming,
Yes.
because I'm concentrating on my lift, or because I lift very heavy. I don't, go in there and do 2 kilo dumbbells or anything. No offense, but if I'm going to go in for a workout, I go heavy. So my meditation is because I can't think about anything else. I'm only thinking about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And motorcycle riding is the other thing for me. So even though I've got a lot of external stuff, I actually have a nothing box, which I
You've
watched this
tuned it
comedy
out.
thing. Yeah, I had this
Yeah.
comedy thing years ago, and it was about the differences between girls and boys. And this man said that he had a nothing box. So when he's sitting on the couch watching TV, he's actually thinking about nothing. And his wife, what are you thinking about? Blah, 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 blah. And then he explained how women's or female brains work, and compartmentalize, and there's all these files, and there's all this, that, and that. And I'm like, yeah, I've got all of that, but I have a nothing box.
A nothing brain as well. Yeah.
And I just completely can not think about anything at all. So when I decide that I'm just going to veg out, or I'm going to go astral travel or whatever, I go, okay, there's my nothing brain. And I can consciously go into my nothing brain when nothing comes in, because I'm in my nothing brain.
Oh, that's good. Whereas most of us need something to distract us from that thought. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think what it is because when I was little, I used to go within to stop the chatter with all around me. So I think that because I have a hearing loss, the world is obviously very much quieter than all you guys. So you're hearing 500 sounds, and I'm going, what freaking bird? There's no bird in here, so I can't hear anything. But you guys are going, there's bloody kookaburras and magpies and cockatoo, and there's 15 bats up in the tree. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I have all this distraction, so I'm quite happy because my world is obviously much more quieter. So I probably have that nothing box, but I don't have all those distractions. So I'm lucky.
That's interesting.
Always, but you can keep your singing bowls.
All right. Well, that's a great reminder not to ever gift you one.
Or if we go away on a camping trip together and you pull out the bowl, I know I've spoken way too much. I need to zip it. I'll give you a kiss and say good night and go to my hotel room.
Oh dear. All righty. Well, that's been fun tonight and an interesting topic, and not as difficult as I first imagined. So.
No, I thought, oh my God, how are we going to get out of this one? What do I know about sound healing? Hang on a minute. I know a little bit about frequency. I know it's actually really easy. I like that candid talk. It's a candid talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So awesome.
Wow, we've got lots in our studio audience. Can we call them a studio audience?
We have our live audience, yes. Very exciting.
Still got heaps there.
Yeah.
Now, Susan Robbins says that her husband has some frequency music on at night, and that sends him into snore mode within minutes. And I have to put a pillow over my head. It drives me nuts.
Oh.
Maybe put a pillow over his head, Susan.
Good for him and not her. Oh dear.
How funny. But it does. It can put people into a deeper sleep. It can put people in deeper meditative mode, and it's just play with it. Go and have an explore, and
have a play with it. If you don't
find something in the first 10 minutes, keep moving. Don't go down the rabbit hole.
Just do whatever feels good for you, and just keep your eye on your own frequency.
Exactly right.
Perfect.
Exactly right. I think we're all done. What do you reckon, Trish?
So. Yes. Yep.
Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us on this episode. Remember, you can join us live on the Facebook page, A Guided Life Podcast.
And you can also subscribe to the podcast through Buzzsprout, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and others.
And thank you, of course, to our sponsor, Holistic Bliss Magazine, and to all of you who are supporting our work. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.